someone who would like to speak this morning to the... Yes, Mr. Fritz, please.
James Fritz, 271 Crutcher Road, Port Townsend, Washington. Today I'd like to speak about climate change, which is drastically going to affect Jefferson County. First of all, it's much, much more complex than anybody realizes. For instance, China alone burns 3 billion tons of coal a year. The United States burns 1 billion tons. But Chinese coal is extremely dirty with lots of sulfur, mercury, and so forth. 30 to 40% of the mercury in our atmosphere comes from China, methyl mercury. And it takes 2.5 years on the average for it to settle out. So the mercury level in our lakes is actually going up. Cutting large areas of tropical rainforests, about 20% of our oxygen comes from rainforests converting carbon dioxide into oxygen. So, and not only that, but cutting the rainforests in the Amazon, the ground heats up more, and that's affecting the ocean currents. The big change, though, is even stranger, and that's what's happening in the sun. That starting 4 years ago, the solar sunspot cycle flatlined pretty much. Next year is supposed to be the solar maximum, and we have very few sunspots. I think we've got a small one now that's just about died out, and it's very strange. This happens about every 350 years, and we have a mini ice age. We had one in 1315, which wiped the Vikings out of Greenland. We had 1347 was when the plague rolled across Europe because things were cold and wet and people suffering from malnutrition. In 1647, we had another one, mini ice age, and people were ice skating on the Thames River and on the canals in Holland. Again, the plague rolled across Europe. Now, not only has the sunspot cycle gone strange, but they're observing that the sun gets its energy from fusion, from hydrogen into helium, and giant convection currents transfer it to the surface. In the northern hemisphere, these currents have slowed down by 55%, and in the southern hemisphere, 65%. And they're saying that this means we're, at the very least, going into another mini ice age. There's also the possibility we're going into another ice age period, because every 10,000 years, on the average, we have another ice age, and it's 11,000 years now. So people don't know what's going on, but it's at best interesting, and at worst frightening.
Thank you, Mr. Fritz.